a checker. Emceemur in this. And I suppose it's about time to check out some really old shit on the Atari 2600. Frontline. I picked up Frontline at AthCon a few years ago in somebody's bin for like $2. It's kind of an uncommon Atari game. We're streaming this off a Flashback that I scored today. And hopefully it's going to work. But I'm interested, man, in this game. And I never did get to put it in. So we are going to put it in today. And just see what in the hell. Oh my. You know that this is going to be awesome. Oh, he can shoot diagonally. This is pretty advanced. You ain't got nothing. What are you talking about? My Rambo and experience, it's on. Now, by today's standards, this may not look very exciting. But by Atari 2600 standards, this is balling out. I mean, this was, man, if you got this from your grandma for your birthday, oh, hell yeah, dude, Frontline, man. You were playing this all night. What is he wearing? And it's like he's dressed as a police officer to go behind the line in the jungle. I'm not sure how many lives I have here. Oh, you got me. Burps. I think I've died like 5 times and I'm still good to go. We are joined by CM Retro Gaming. Welcome, CM. You are in time to, yes, see some Atari action. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to stream Atari, and we're doing this via a Flashback system that I scored this morning. And I was really excited to score it, and we'll look at it in the pickup video, but I would never want to pay full retail for one of these things, and there it was, and I got it for a deal, and I said, man, this will hook in AV, and at least we can play the games that are on here and look at them. Uh-oh, some water. I think that's what that is. Oh, it takes them a little bit longer to walk through the water. Okay, so it's a water hazard. Oh, no, that's a tank. Oh, Jesus. So that was it. My high score was 20. Now, I can do better than that. We were just warming up. Go ahead and check in with our Twitch feed here, just in case somebody out there in the wild yonder might be checking us out. I doubt it. All right, here we go. So there's 4 tanks, I guess is what that's saying, and I need to destroy all of them with my pistol that's so small you can't even see it in my hand. Yeah, you know I've been dying to stream some Atari, and it hasn't happened yet. I don't know how we're going to scale coax to AV and then to HDMI. I mean, I know how that would work, but I can't find a box that allows you to do that. And if you find one, you let me know. Because if you think about it, who the hell would need that? I want to turn my coax to AV and then to HDMI. It just would. I mean, I just need coax to AV, and it seems like it goes the other way. I find boxes to do AV to coax. The outputs and inputs are reversed. That doesn't make any damn sense. Alright, I'm stuck on a tree, and I had to shoot to survive there. I am not actually using the wireless controllers that came with this thing. They're here. I mean, it's complete, and they're really nice. But I'm using an original Atari wired controller. For authenticity's sake, I'll mess around with the wireless ones, I'm sure. I'll probably take this thing on vacation with us when we go. When we hit Disney this year, I won't be leaving the hotel room. I'm going to be in there with an NES Classic, my new Metroid Samus 3DS XL, this sumbitch right here. Man, they ain't going to get me to go nowhere. I'm going to be having what the frick I want done. Yeah, get on the mat, son. Can I walk through these trees? Yeah, you can, but boy, it's a slow go. Oh, yeah, what's up? What's up? One shot from a pistol and the tank blows up. That's what's up. Oh, no! No! These people don't know they're messing with somebody that just beat Rambo on the Sega Master System, so... So again, I picked a copy of this up at AthCon, and it's kind of an uncommon Atari cart. Loved the artwork on it. It's a Taito game. Glad to add it to the collection, but like so many things I add to the collection, hadn't actually got time to throw it in. Damn. Oh crap. Oh, couldn't turn around in time. Now there's 2 tanks on the icons up there at the top. Now I certainly destroyed more than 4. Maybe there's certain ones that are like V1s? I don't know. What is this now? Whenever the scenery changes, I'm going to get a little antsy. But again, as far as Atari games go, this is pretty cool, man, because there were so many games that were just completely unplayable. Or if they were playable, they were so freaking lame that it just wouldn't hold your attention. Especially not by today's standards, because a lot of people can't even appreciate something like this, but I can appreciate it. It's got to be playable, though, and this is. The only Atari stuff I don't give a pass to is the stuff that's unplayable. We are joined by Robert Payne. Welcome, Robert Payne, to the stream. You're in time to watch me get blown up by a tank that looks strangely like a hermit crab. But I can confirm that... Oh, no! He didn't get the... Did mine hit him? Mine hit him, then. I guess these are cactuses now? Or all? I mean, he's walked a long way. We went from the jungle to the swamp to the desert. So when you think about it, this is not unlike the journey we made in Rambo. God, get him off of me. This is gaming right here, man. I'm so tired of hearing people that were, you know, oh yeah, man, I love retro gaming, man. I was born in the year 2000. Get out of here. You don't even know what you're talking about, man. Come play some Frontline, then we'll talk. Oh man, the GameCube, that's so retro, man. Yeah, pretty frickin' retro. Speaking of retro, we're joined by Captain Retro, asking, what is this high-def shooter? This would be Frontline for the Atari 2600. Where is he now? Candyland? What is this? Peppermint Bark World? What is this? Are these mountains? Are we in the mountains now? The tanks are ridiculously faster now. And man, they've got a lot of artillery. That's a lot of tanks to send after one man. Damn, I'm out of men. They're not getting rid of me that easy. Do, 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 do. Waldo Forrest, Fluffy says. Yeah, and you know, the dude here, he looks like he's dressed as a police officer when he's supposed to be a soldier. And his hat looks like the flower pot that the Devo guys wear. So, yeah. Oh, he got me right in the head. We are joined by Ty Lord Stevenson and Fluffy Gamer. Welcome, guys, to our Atari 2600 live stream. I am currently getting my diarrhea smushed in. I was doing so well before. What the hell, man? All right, we got to get focused. We beat Rambo on Sega Master System. We can take this on. What was my score? 5,200? 5,600? That's what it was all about in these games, was score. Hey, man, I beat your score today. Oh, fuck you, man. No, you didn't. Yeah, I did. Oh, we're exchanging fire here, buddy. Some hot action. This is it, though, man. I mean, this is what's up. This does it for me. I mean, it's just... It makes me happy. There's so many people in the game now that don't go that far back with it. That's all I'm saying, you know. And it's not like they can't appreciate this or look at it or know what it is, but... I came from a time when this was all there was. I mean, the damn NES wasn't out. My buddies had Ataris, or we were playing on vintage computers. At least they're vintage now. And that was it, man. And this was awesome. I mean, you were happy as a pig in diarrhea slop to have something like this to play. I cut my teeth on my Atari ST... and on the Atari 2600 and 5200. Now, we didn't have to wait long to get Sega Master System and NES. But even after that, we still played these games because we were into them already. Like, yeah, you know, we could play some Mario, but let's try to get our high score up on Kangaroo. Oh, Kangaroo was the shit. If you haven't played Kangaroo, play Kangaroo. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. You're a kangaroo with boxing gloves, punching monkeys with apples. And the 2600 version's pretty ugly, but the 5200 version is gorgeous. I still like 2600 version, though. I'll still play it. It's Kangaroo. I'm getting massacred here. Oh my god, what a turd. I think that's it. I gotta start over again. I love that little drum beat at the beginning. I'm almost waiting for the commando music to kick in. Dun, 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 dun. I am stuck in a tree right now, if you're wondering why I'm not moving. Get him off me! So I gave about 15 bucks for this little thing. It's probably not worth much more than that, if it's even worth that, but to be able to stream some of these old... Oh, what happened to him? Stream some of these old Atari classics. I was like, you know what? Done. And the dude had already given me a deal on some 360 stuff that I wanted to trade, so... Done. I actually got pretty stoked when I saw it, because it was untouched in a box. It had the posters in it. So it was complete. And I've often thought about buying one of these, especially like the Coleco version one, because I believe the Coleco version one has Gateway to AppShy on it, which I have Gateway to AppShy, and I'm just too lazy to plug my Atari 400 in and play it. We need to do that, though, man. I've actually been planning a vintage computing series that we're going to do on here. Obviously, we can't stream it, but we can at least film me playing it and take a look at it. I have so many vintage computers in here I'd love to jam out on some stuff for you. Tyler Stevenson says he thought the tanks were turtles. That's a good guess. It took me a second. But yeah, that's a tank. You know what? Think about how much of your... Damn it. Think about how much of your imagination you used when we played these games back then. And, you know... That was... that was the best graphics card in existence. The imagination. You gotta go so far up to make the screen scroll, you don't really know. Oh, no, I'm in a... Oh my god, that wasn't water, that was a tank! So what I thought was a lake is a tank. How did I get in it? I am not tripping, I got in a tank just then. Oh, it's on now. You just hit the button on it. I'm asking how do you do it, like there's more than one button here. Let me get out the manual. Oh, hit the button. Oh, okay. Oh, dude, it's on now. Front line, dude, is in a tank. I'm in a tank, yeah. Coming after you in a tank, yeah. Oh, no, this is the granddaddy right here. No. Oh! It looked like he took his clothes off when he got in the tank. I'm stuck on a tree. No! No! Okay, so if a tank touches your tank, you fall out of the tank, but you're still alive. If they blow the tank up with you in it, you're dead. And I think I was hitting the final boss. Oh, no, I got him! He just took one hit. Look at this. Alright, this is round 2, or is that to start the game over? Can I go the other way? Nope. Oh, not cool. Yeah, stuff like this back then really was impressive because there were a lot of games that you got that weren't even this far along graphically. I mean, your character was a square on the screen and the enemies were dots. And boy, your imagination really had its work cut out for it on some of those. I mean, look at Haunted House. You were a set of eyeballs floating around in a dark room. Oh, we can't program any graphics. Let's make something that just happens in a dark room so there's an excuse for there to be nothing on the screen. Oh my god. Night Driver was absolutely horrible. It was an attempt at a pole position kind of game. You were just an H on the screen, which I guess was supposed to be an IndyCar. Ah, you knew he was going to get me. Balls, sack. Captain says he wants to stream some of his Magnavox Odyssey 2. I would love to see that. The Odysseys are systems I don't know a lot about. Well, let me rephrase. They're systems I know a lot about. They're systems I haven't played a lot of. The only Odyssey I ever have found was broken, and I mean broken beyond repair. I mean, it had like D batteries in it that had exploded back in 1975, and it was quite a sight when I opened that thing up. So, it was so bad I didn't even want to keep it on the shelf just to look at. I pitched it. And there were so many Odyssey systems, so of course the later iterations of those. It didn't take much to kick the poop out of the 2600 graphically. 2600 didn't have much going on, but it allowed you to at least experience some gameplay at home, if not the graphics. Oh, he didn't get me with that! Of some of your arcade favorites. Donkey Kong looked like a newborn, freshly delivered fetus on the 2600 version of Donkey Kong. Nothing really looked right, but that was like a mini tank there. And I swear to God, this is not one either. There's two tank sizes. This is a big slow tank, and there's a mini speed tank, which was what I was in before. And I guess I wasn't hurting the boss. Yeah, look, he's faster and smaller. Woo, that was close. I have Commando on the 2600, and I've not ever got to put that in that I can recall. Really like to take a look at that. But again, I can stream this because it has an AV cord on it. I don't know for the life of me how I'm going to stream the other 2600 games that I've got. Or my 7800, because I have a pretty nice 7800 collection. And the 7800, while it wasn't an NES, it has some great stuff going on. Yeah, man, it's pretty realistic right here. It's pretty realistic in my tank, driving through Where's Waldo, Fortland in the forest. Oh, you're not gonna get me. Is it just me, or is the tank not capable? What? The tank's not blowing dude up here. I blew him up on foot with one hit. And this tank can't knock me out of my little tank. Let him kill me. I mean, I don't know what the hell, man. I gotta be on foot to get him? I mean, that's kind of BS, isn't it? I mean, the button shoots at that point. You're not going to get out of the tank that way. And yes, Captain, he is switching hands with the gun, it looks like. But I'm confused here. Why did I have to get out of my tank to kill the boss? That is ridiculous, dude. So the tank can't hurt the boss. And you can't get out of the tank? So the tank is, in a sense, a death sentence. Unless you're in a big one that you can be bumped out of, because apparently the little ones you can't be, and maybe that's a perk of the little one. Or is it? I'm confused. If you read about the history of Atari too, and you know, all these guys were down there having coke parties and raising hell, and you gotta wonder if anybody knew what the hell they were doing down there. But this game was Taito, so I mean, this is not exactly an original Atari game. I'm wondering what they were thinking. We are joined by Canadian Retro. Welcome, Canadian Retro. Yes, you are in time to view some very high-def graphics. Rambo don't know nothing about the graphics on Frontline. Isn't that like a dog heartworm medication? Frontline. Protect your dog's tater sack against flea bites. Frontline. Yeah. What your dog's testicles want done. I don't think I shot him, but we'll take it. So obviously this is hell that just goes on forever. And you hope eventually you can get a high score and tell your buddies, hey man, I blew your score away. Yeah, they released the Atari Flashback Classics or whatever the hell on PS4, and you know, it was only so good because there was nothing on it third party. Kind of the same way in the PS2 that we had Atari Anthology, but you also had the Activision collection as a completely separate product. And most of the original Atari games weren't very good. They weren't even very inventive for what little they could do. Some of them were. I mean, the Sword Quest games were pretty creative. Oh, what? Well, that was my best game. 8,200 on the score there. Huh. See if there's a reset button on this thing. Maybe not. We are joined by Chasing the Classics. Welcome, Chasing the Classics, to our fantastic frontline mission. Alright, 8,200. We can do better than that. Seems to me if you really wanted the high score, you could just grind enemies. They're all worth 100. Stay on the first level. Oh man, I beat your high score. That's what I'm wondering here. Is there anything to advancing? And am I getting anything out of that? Canadian Retro asks, is this emulation or am I a capture card master? Oh, this thing's set on a 2-player game. I hit the wrong button. We'll let him get shot. No, this is a capture card. I'm playing this on a Flashback system that I scored this morning while out hunting. I really don't know how I'm going to go up. I don't know how I'm going to go about streaming my other Atari stuff, and there's so much of it. But I can't find anything that permits me to convert coax to AV, and then I can easily upscale that to HDMI through the card. But everything I see has got the input and output on the wrong side. I'm not trying to turn AV into coax. So, not really what I want done. And if any of y'all have any idea where I can get something like that, let me know. Because we're limited to what's on this thing right now. I can't even reset it to change and look and see what else is on it, because it will end the stream because I'll have to turn it off. Oh, God, I've got a huge Atari collection. And I mean some good stuff too. Choplifter on the 7800. Dark Chambers, which was basically a Gauntlet clone, but it was really good. Just some cool games I'd love to take a look at. Ow. Ow. Boop. See ya, player 2. Yeah, there ain't nothing like couch co-op and some Frontline. And again, I do have this game physically. But I was excited to see that it was on this one because I have never had a time to actually put the cartridge in and try it out. I was like, you know what? We're going to see what Frontline is like today. God, it took them long enough. Were they interrogating him? What were they doing? Alright, let's see here. Oh, God, we're not playing 3 people. There. Another old system that I want to take a look at is my Commodore 64, and I acquired a VIC-20 in the box with a bunch of games for like $10. Not too long ago. I guess it was within the last 2 years I did. Still haven't looked at it, and I'm sure it works. It's a beaut. But I cut my teeth on a lot of Commodore stuff, too. Commodore had some good stuff. It was ugly, too, in a lot of cases, but what it did well. And it had some great RPGs available for it, including but not limited to the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons games and the Bard's Tale games from EA. I mean, I remember playing Bard's Tale 2, the Destiny Knight, like crazy on there because they had Bard's Tale 1 for the Atari ST, and it was gorgeous. I mean, it was like frickin' Super Nintendo quality graphics in 1988. But Destiny Knight was not available for the Atari ST, as a lot of things weren't. And just about everything was available for Commodore. They sold so many of those things. So while it was ugly, that was my only way to play it, not having a high-grade, highfalutin IBM like some of my buddies did. And yeah, I wore that sumbitch out on there. That and Pool of Radiance, and one of them AD&D games. I can't remember. Was it Hills 4? I had something on there. I don't know. My memory's fuzzy. My mom sold our old Commodore for $5 at a yard sale. I remember watching it go, and I don't blame her for that. I didn't say anything about it. I wasn't playing it at the time. But I also wasn't really collecting at the time. I've just always had my games, and if I didn't use something, I didn't think anything of it going away, but yeah, years later, I've had to rebuy my Commodore stuff, and it's been a pain in the ass because it's got kind of collectible, and it's not crazy expensive, but the parts kind of are. I need a disk drive so that I'm not just running cartridges. I need a floppy disk drive, and those are not cheap. Remember playing 720, the old skateboarding game on there. God, it looked like hammered, bloody doo-doo. But it was fun. It's fun, bloody doo-doo. So the little tank can't knock me out of the big tank. The big tank couldn't knock me out of the little tank. The big tank can't damage the main boss either. So if I can't get out of here, what am I going to do? Oh my God. There's no laws in here. It's Thunderdome. The little tank you can't get knocked out of by the big tank. Big tank can't get knocked out of by the little tank. The big tank can't damage the boss. Little tank can't damage the boss. If you get in a tank, you got to get out of the tank so you can damage the boss. When you're on foot and you have a little handgun, you can kill the boss with one hit. Who came up with this shit? You actually have to die if you pick the tank. Why do I even pick it? Oh, I was trying to move. Welcome Gaming Rock 673 to the stream. Canadian Retro says he wants a Commodore 64 so bad. You know, I will say they've come down in price a little bit. For a while there, they kind of peaked. I priced this VIC-20 after I got it, and I was thinking, oh my god, dude, I just got a $120-something computer for $10. But at the time, it was only like 40, 50 bucks at auction. And I don't know what they're doing now. They're probably skyrocketed too, because damn, YouTube, God, and everybody, game collecting is just out of freaking control. So I haven't priced them in a while, but I'll tell you what's really expensive for the Commodore, not only the disk drives, is the games complete. D&D games, especially, because I've collected some of those, even though I don't have the drive anymore to use them, knowing that someday I will. And paid big money for them on eBay. Maybe kind of slayed a couple auctions on them, if you can call it that, but still not what I wanted to pay for it. I've got something up there. I got Champions of Kryn. That's what I've got. Oh, God. Blown away. Yeah, I'd like to get some Champions of Kryn going. You never know. You might find one for $10. I surely wasn't planning on it that day. This dude had a bunch of PS2 stuff. It was all Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Harvest Moon, and then I moved that box, and under it was the VIC-20 box. And I'm like, what the frick? I was like, it's not in there. It was totally in there, and there were game cartridges, and you know, I already had my Commodore 64. I just didn't have a VIC-20. I was like, dude, what are we talking here? And I got all his PS2 RPGs, cherry-picked the fire out of his pile there, and the VIC-20, and got out of there for $20. And, oh my God, I was giving God high fives in my head. It was ridiculous. Every once in a while, you find those sales, and it's the person that just had really good tastes and just doesn't want their shit anymore. And it's the perfect storm. And it ain't happening this year, I'll tell you that. The yard sales have been awful this year. And everyone's always like, oh, well, video games, I didn't even think about that. I have some. Just didn't think anybody would want that. And I'm like, well, let's think about this logically for a minute. Join me in some logical thinking. They actually have entire franchises, stores, dedicated to the resale of pre-owned video games. But nobody has opened a retail location of any kind to sell your used dirty underwear, which is all you have out here on these tables. Didn't think people would want it. Give me a break. It's literally the only thing you probably have that's valuable. And God, I must have heard it 15 times today. Oh yeah, man, I got every Nintendo game ever made. I just don't know where it is. What do you mean you don't know where it is? I'm waving money in your face. I need you to go get it. Oh, I can't find it. You know where your 10-year-old dirty underwear is, though. Thank God. Except that I don't want to pay you for that. Well, I'll call you. You're not going to call me. You're not going to call me. They never call you. Oh, man, I got every Zelda ever made. I'll sell it to you for 10 cents. I'll call you back. No, you won't. Dude, I'll give you $100 if you call me back. Or I'll call you. Nope. Am I that off-putting? Do I scare people? I don't understand what it is. No one ever calls me back. I don't scream at them. I'm generally an amiable chap. I'm pleasant. I smell nice. If I have to break wind, I do it in the car. Often when I get back from looking around at the sale into the car, the fart is still in there. But that's where it stays. That's by design. So I don't know what other etiquette I could observe to make people more receptive to... I mean, I guess people just don't want to do a back alley thing, but it's like you're already doing a thing where you have all these strangers come to your house and buy your stuff. So Canadian Retro is saying that he lost his C64 to a flooded basement. And that's awfully sad, brother. At least mine went on to live another life somewhere, as far as I know. But that's heartbreaking. They had a game called TKO for the Commodore, it's a boxing game. And man, it had facial damage and blood, and it was really ahead of its time for what it was. And that was a game I really enjoyed on there. No, I didn't want to get in the tank. You didn't shoot. Now touching it killed me, whereas before touching it knocked me out and put me on foot again. But yeah, I've got the Commodores I want to look at and do some gameplay on. I've got my Atari ST that you guys have seen in some of the collection videos I've done. I'd love to go through some of that software and look at it with you. I'd love to do some of the text-based adventure games that I've got from back in the day. No matter how boring that may be. And I got my Atari 400, and I've got some really cool stuff on that Atari 400. I've got this boxed gateway to Apshai, and I'm dying to try it. If you're not familiar with Apshai, get familiar with it. The Temple of Apshai, or Dungeon Quest, was huge. I mean, this was probably the best thing ever to come out of Epix. This frickin' game was built around D&D rules, unofficially, so that you could plug your character numbers right in and put your dude into this game. Now, it would roll one for you if you like, but the fact that it was based on D&D rules was just amazing. This was the first attempt at actually putting Dungeons and Dragons onto a screen, pretty much. I mean, even the actual Dungeons and Dragons games that existed back then didn't make the cut. I mean, the Intellivision ones were terrible. They were just a stick figure walking around doing nothing. So, yeah, to actually have stats and loot and a shop where you could buy things, I mean, this was pretty revolutionary for back then. We are joined by Prison Fuel. Welcome, Prison, to the stream. You're in time to see me kick some butt and some Atari Frontline. But yeah, Apshai is what's up. And Apshai was almost kind of a sister game to Rogue at the time, which, oh God, a copy of Rogue now, I mean, it's up there in the $100 to $300 range, depending on condition. I would love to get a copy of Rogue for the Atari ST. I don't even see one out there. There wasn't even one on eBay last I looked. I remember being a kid in the 80s at Service Merchandise looking at games. And I had Temple of Apshai Trilogy in one hand and Rogue in the other. And you know as well as I do, you didn't get two games back then. You got one, if you even got one. So I picked Apshai, and I don't regret it. But you always wonder about the one that got away. And I never did get a copy of Rogue. I still don't have a copy of Rogue. We call things roguelike today because of Rogue. Rogue is Rogue, and I wish I had a copy. I always wonder about the one that got away. Playing all the old Sierra games, King's Quest, Space Quest, Police Quest, whatever the hell Quest, Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards. It just didn't get any better than that. They didn't kill me too, I killed him. Some old bullshit. Mailing off to Sierra, you'd get the hint books for the games, and the answers wouldn't show up until you rubbed them with this magical pen that revealed the hidden ink, so that there were no spoilers, you know. And that way you could take the game at your pace. If you didn't want the next hint, you didn't have to get it. You could try to solve it on your own, but if you give up, just pull out the pen and look and see what the answer was. God, I wish I still had some of those. And you know, the games, they've aged pretty good. I mean, we got a new King's Quest for current gen now that plays virtually the same way as the old ones. And I've let my daughter play King's Quest on the Atari ST, and she thought it was pretty neat. And the reason why is because she's exploring. You know, I mean, graphically, it didn't matter. You were walking around doing things, talking to people, finding objects, solving puzzles. It had stuff to do. Oh, I'm stuck on a rock. He speeds his ass up when he gets across the bridge there. What? Tylord Stevenson asked, do I remember a game called Hugo's House of Horrors? I do not. Jimmy! Jeez, I'm losing lives very unnecessarily here. I don't like this game because you get to the boss in a tank and then you just have to kill yourself. That was obviously an oversight. I could be wrong about that. There could be something I'm not doing, but let's face it. It's a game with one button. What the hell else could there be? Well, I think I'm front-lined out. But I got an answer to some questions tonight. Is the Atari Flashback worth a crap? I guess it's pretty cool. If you can pick one up like I did today, it's cheaper than buying an Atari. Although Ataris don't come that expensive these days, and it's a really cheap system to collect for initially when you're not looking for uncommon and really rare stuff. I mean, I don't pay more than $1 a cartridge for Atari stuff normally, even if it is uncommon. But that was kind of neat. Also got an answer to the question, what the hell is Frontline by Taito like? And now we know. And it beats a sharp stick in the eye. I have definitely played worse. I'm going to research it a little bit. I'm kind of confused about the tank thing. Tight White joins us now. Is this Frontline Desert Bus? It kind of is in a sense, because this is one of those games I can tell that probably just goes on forever. There's not going to be much change in the flow of it. You're playing for a high score. That boss is probably the same on every level. Dies in one hit and really doesn't pose much of a challenge. But Frontline, I would like to see on some other platforms. I mean, if it was on ColecoVision, I'd like to see what their version looked like. I played a lot of ColecoVision back in the day, too. And it's just interesting to see from console to console how the games that you like differed and in what way. So thank all of y'all for joining me here. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you like watching people play ridiculous amounts of vintage games, because we're going to be doing more and more of that on the channel as time progresses. I can't get enough of the old school because I'm an old fool. Signing off for now is Emceemur, and we will see you again next time.